Good evening and welcome to Q Weekly. I am Stevie Griffiths. Welcome. It is Easter Monday. Hope you got lots of chockies for Easter yesterday, because yesterday Easter Bunny came. Congratulations to Mrs. Bunny. Now we have a raspberry jam-packed show for you tonight. We have got QHealth. We've got QCuisine. We've got the final episode of Can't Even Think Straight. But coming up right now, we have Vic and Beng with QHealth. Take it away.
Hi and welcome to another edition of QHealth, and welcome Beng, our resident GP. How are you, Beng?
Really well. Hey, Vic.
Not bad. Now, let's sort of talk about some general issues or general health, and it's important, isn't it, for people to look after themselves. And there's a lot of issues that we need to be aware of. Diet's very important, isn't it?
Yes, that is very important. I think it's important in terms of talking about queer health, to take a step back, take an overview of all the different health issues, so that we're not always focusing on sexual health. Whereas while it's important, there are other things to talk about. For example, diet. I mean, diet's important to supply us with enough energy for the day. Diet's important in terms of being underweight, overweight, general health issues. Diet's important for people HIV positive, to make sure they don't compromise their immune system. So it's important in lots and lots of ways. I think that sets up a lot of our preventive health measures. For example, eating correctly helps reduce our blood pressure and cholesterol and all that too. So it's something that's important we should all be looking at.
And it's about a balance too, isn't it? It's not as if we're never allowed to have McDonald's or chocolate or anything like that. It's really about a balance.
I think that's what we've become. We've become focused on fat diets, and everyone does fat diets, and it goes back to normal diet. And I think a good diet basically is a diet that's not in excess of anything, but it's not depriving us of things. I mean, diet should be seen as how we deprive ourselves of pleasure. It should be eating nice food, what we like, but maybe in moderation, so we don't have any bad outcomes from eating it too much. As you said, the occasional McDonald's isn't going to make much difference, but if you have it 5 nights a week, it might.
That's something else, isn't it? Now, exercise is important too, isn't it?
Yeah, again, exercise is very important for keeping weight down, blood pressure. It's got lots of benefits, exercise. Helps us reduce our stress as well. So again, it's something that can be learned from early on, that exercise is part of a balanced lifestyle that we should have. And I think kids now in school are learning things like that much more than we ever did.
Now, disease prevention, I mean, there are a lot of things we can do apart from diet and exercise. There are things that can help avoid disease.
I think so much about modern medicine now is actually disease prevention. The whole aim is to treat people before they actually get ill. So a lot of what we do now is for example, like blood pressure monitoring is about stopping people getting strokes and heart attacks really early, same as cholesterol and stuff. So a lot of the measures we take now aren't to treat someone who's feeling really bad, but it's just monitoring someone's health and maximizing their health. I think that's why it's important to make people aware of all these issues about their health, so they can get regular checks and make sure that they keep an eye on certain things before they start feeling sick or start running into trouble with it.
And that's really important, isn't it? Not just in sexual health, in terms of sexual health, but in general terms, regular testing is really important, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think we can draw examples from like HIV or like diabetes, for example. Most people feel quite well if they are diabetic and they're not aware of it. But if you know you're diabetic, you know you're going to get complications down the track. It might be 20 years down the track, but if you don't manage your diabetes, you're going to get sick, you're going to have poor eyesight, you're going to have poor circulation and everything else later on. So it's really important to be aware of it and do something about it beforehand before you get to that point. Because once it gets to that point, it's sort of a bit too late anyway.
And it's very easy for people to think, oh, well, I wouldn't have diabetes, but we do know that there is a whole population out there that actually have diabetes, particularly type 2 diabetes that don't even know it.
No, you're right. A lot of people say, I'm feeling well, so I don't need to. It's like sometimes someone comes in and says, I want a health check, and you suggest that, oh, maybe we should do this and that, and they'll say, oh no, but I feel really well, so why do I need all this to be done? So I think, yeah, when people feel well, they don't think they need things to be checked.
And it's also pertaining to, particularly for men, prostate cancer and even testicular cancer. They're sort of issues that people or men need to be aware of, don't they?
Definitely. I mean, prostate cancers are, are more common as you get older, and certainly people have problems with prostate enlargement. They should be checked. And it might be embarrassing to get it checked, but it's certainly worthwhile getting checked early rather than later. And same as testicular cancer, most men should be aware of how their testicles, their balls feel normally. So if there are any lumps or hardness or anything, they should get it properly checked as well. Because some of these things are really treatable early on, but if they're left really late, there's not much you can do about it.
And what about for women? Particularly lately, there's been some campaigns or more awareness in the media about breast checks and pap smears. Is that important for women to sort of be aware of and keep testing? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, breast checks are useful to find any lumps that women might have, and these lumps are often benign, so often they're not harmful, but they need to be checked just in case they are harmful and need to be removed. And pap smears, cervical smears are really important too. And there's been a campaign recently about lesbians having pap smears, because a lot of lesbians assume that they don't need pap smears, but they actually should be having pap smears. Again, it's a screening test for cervical cancer. And if you have the screening test and it shows up that it's abnormal, you can treat it. But if you leave it for years and years and years later on, it might be too late to do anything about it, or it might be really difficult to treat later on.
And that's the key thing here, isn't it? It's about preventative medicine, because there's so many things we can prevent just by constantly being aware of your body and making sure you have those tests.
Yeah, exactly. It's about not waiting until something does go wrong, but keeping an eye on your health, like having your car service, just having everything checked before it breaks down.
All right, well, thanks again, Ben. See you next time.
Thanks very much, Beng and Vic. Now, if you would like to send in a question to one of our health specialists here on QHealth, you can send it through to feedback@benttv.org.au. It is now time for our final episode of Can't Even Think Straight. Let's see how it's going to end.
You see, Jim, take away the family unit and you really have nothing else to rely on.
Well, I had my doubts about you at first, Simon, but now I can see family is real important to you.
That's such a coincidence. Football's my favorite sport, too.
Alice, I've had to control my masculine urges for a while now, and I've noticed things I never have before.
Well, I know how difficult it must have been for you, Greg, not coming every 2 hours and all, and I'm so thrilled that you did it all for me.
Really, Alice?
How about we go up to my room later on and talk about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, happy families and guests, I'm so happy and proud to introduce the lovely couple, Corey and Collar.
Just stick your hands off me. He's my best friend.
For a long time, we were worried about Corey, and I thought I'd done something wrong, and I was very depressed and miserable, and I actually had a long and painful addiction to...
It's okay, dear. You're getting emotional. Everything's fine. These two troopers have long enriched each other's lives and will continue to do so in holy matrimony when 2 months from today they are united and married at St. Peter's Uniting Church. Now, there's nothing else to say. It's done.
Oh, no, you don't. I've got something to say. I'd like to thank my father for his gracious words and ever-loving support throughout my blessed, idyllic, and always happy life. However, I'd like to take this opportunity to alert this big, happy, extended family to 1 or 2 minor anomalies in its plan for my eternal happiness and monogamous heterosexuality. Carla James is not my lover. My semen never in fact entered the ovaries of this misguided young lady who was put under psychomanipulation therapy in this very lounge room to reveal a fictive and pernicious narrative of deceit, and dare I say it, assault.
Not true, not true!
Roll the tape, Eric.
Ow! Crap! How could you? All that crap about not wanting me for more than sex was just because you jerked off? You're a slime ball. You're all slime balls, and I hope you pay with your life.
Alice!
What's happening?
It's okay, darling. Everything's okay. I think you should go to the kitchen. I smell something burning again.
Yes, I'll go to the kitchen. In the kitchen, everything's fine.
I need to say something now. I was going to save it till later because it's so bad. But seeing as Greg is now the father of my child, I'd just like to say I'm not pregnant. But Corey, I still think we should get married.
Not on your life, sister. That goes for your manky cat as well. I'd like to announce another thing while we're here in this perfect state of nuclear disruption. And that's that me and Roy are going steady.
Well, Corey, I think that's tremendous. You seem like a real nice kid to me. You hear that, Emma? These boys gone steady.
Wow, Jim, that is great.
Simon, did you know about this?
No. Yes, I didn't know.
Well, that explains why they've been acting so strange lately.
But, Jim, you said the family unit was the most important thing.
It is, Simon, it is. Nothing's more important than family. The family's more than a man, a woman, and a couple of kids. Family's a bunch of people who care about one another. Now, Emma here could be female, male, transgender. But I still think she was swell. Remember, Simon, just because you're straight doesn't mean the rest of the world has to be as well.
Words of wisdom, Jim. Words of wisdom indeed.
Well, now we've really got something to celebrate.
Yes.
And that was the final episode of Can't Even Think Straight. We're about to have a very quick break. Make sure you stay with us for more Q Weekly after the break. Welcome back to Q Weekly, and now here is myself and Paul Noury with this week's episode of QCuisine. Let's have a look at some sushi. Yummy. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to QCuisine. I'm here with Chef Extraordinaire, Mr. Paul Noury. Now, what are we making today?
Today we're going to make sushi. Okay, so it's a very healthy thing to eat, especially this time of year with summer here.
I love sushi.
So what we're going to do is make sushi. So to start off, we need seaweed sheets. Available from supermarkets. You get 10 sheets in a packet, so we require 1 packet of seaweed. Let's place that there. By the way, seaweed's a great thing you can do. You can actually tear it up and place it in stir fries. Okay, it's very healthy. Would you like to eat some?
I would.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
It's tasty. You need your saliva to moisten a little bit. But just remember, you can use seaweed for lots and lots of different things, not just for sushi. Okay, next we need rice. The rice I recommend is Sun White Calrose medium grain rice. Okay, it's a rice that clings and separates. You cannot use arborio, jasmine rice, long grain rice. It has to be a short grain rice.
So there's some that you can't use?
There's some you can't use. It has to be a short grain. There is a Japanese rice called Nitsukan. It's a little bit more expensive, but again, available from supermarkets.
Short grain, short grain.
Short grain rice. Okay, next we need to make a syrup. So we need 1 cup of sugar, we need a cup of rice vinegar, some salt, and we need some salmon. Now, with the filling, we're going to use salmon. Salmon's a very good fish, very versatile. It's a great flavoursome fish, safer to eat raw. And next we need some vegetables. So we've got a nice large cucumber here.
Love it, nice.
Okay. With fish we need about 500 grams. We have our favourite thing, wasabi. This is quite a large packet. You can purchase that from supermarkets as well. And we need about a tablespoon of that. We need a sushi mat. Okay?
Sushi mat?
Sushi mat. Again, they should cost about $1.50 from markets. So to assemble all these things to get it ready to make sushi, what we need to do is, first of all, we need to cook the rice. Okay, you can see this rice is cooked using the absorption method. If you have a rice cooker, I recommend you use a rice cooker, follow the instructions, and you'll have beautifully cooked rice.
So if someone doesn't have a rice cooker, just in brief, what's the best way of...
The absorption methods when you choose the right size pot, like this is a kilo of rice.
Yeah.
It's a matter of putting the rice in, adding water till it's 1 inch above, and then bring it to the boil and then simmer for 12 minutes.
Oh, okay.
This is how you should cook all rice actually. So once the rice is still warm, okay, so what we do is we cook our rice for 12 minutes, take it out of the pot, place it into a bowl. We make a syrup using our rice vinegar, sugar and salt. And what we do is we bring this to the boil on a stove.
So how much sugar and whatnot did you just pop in there?
So it's a kilo of rice,
Yep.
it's 1 cup of vinegar, 1 cup of sugar, and about a tablespoon of salt. Place that all into a saucepan, like so, and just bring it to the boil till the sugar is dissolved. That takes about 30 seconds or so.
30 seconds?
Yeah.
All done.
Okay. Once our syrup's ready, we place it all over our rice and we stir that through. Now this looks a bit wet at the moment, but you'll find it's really hot. Okay, it's a bit hot to work with at the moment. Okay, so we'll let it cool down. But you really got to get these grains of rice coated in that syrup. So there's our rice. Okay, that's the most important part, by the way, getting the rice right. Next is our fish. Okay, just a matter of cutting the fish into nice long strips. Our cucumber. Sometimes I take the seeds out because there's a lot of moisture in the seeds. Okay.
But it doesn't really matter, does it?
No.
Ah.
Not at all. But anything you do put in, like if it was carrot, you want to blanch the vegetables. Blanching means drop the vegetables into boiling salted water, bring them back to the boil and drain them. It just brings out the colour, especially with snow peas and carrot and things like that, even capsicum. So if you want to make vegetarian rolls, you'd want to make sure the vegetables are just not like one large piece of raw carrot. You probably grate the carrot and sprinkle it in. A bit like the California rolls where they put alfalfa sprouts, carrot, avocado. Next is the wasabi. So the wasabi, if it's in powder form, it's just a matter of adding water to the powder, giving it a good stir. Okay, and that's our wasabi. Now, if you want to, what we're going to do today is drizzle the wasabi in the roll. That way, if it's for a cocktail party and you hand it around on a platter, people can't sort of dip it into wasabi and soy. Okay, so we just keep on adding a little bit more water until it's a drizzling consistency. Okay, something else that's nice too is mayonnaise. You can make wasabi mayonnaise. Okay, just buy a really nice, good quality real mayonnaise.
Real mayonnaise?
Or you can make your own mayonnaise. And if you are going to make mayonnaise, wasabi mayonnaise, make it into a drizzling consistency, add it to the mayonnaise. If you add the powder, you'll get lumps.
Oh,
we don't want lumps.
Don't want lumps.
No. And wasabi is very hot. Some people don't like wasabi. The mayonnaise will give it a lot creamier taste and tone it down. So, seaweed sheet, shiny side, dull side. Doesn't really matter, but choose a side. And also, by the way, the sheet is not square. See, it's a rectangle. So you put the longest part to the bottom. All right?
Yes.
You can see that way. That means you'll just get another slice. Okay? Wet hands is very important because the rice will stick to you. You're watching?
I'm watching.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, so we put
so I'm going to have a go at this in a minute.
We put the rice down, eyes down, looking in. Okay, we make a nice tight rectangle. Very important. Take your time. Okay. Right, little finger. Make a nice deep well. Oops. Okay. Then our wasabi. That might be a little bit runny actually. You can have a little bit thicker than that. That's what I meant about the fish. It doesn't matter if it's in little pieces. Okay. And our cucumber. Using the mat, that's what it's there for. And fingers, you go up and over and pull it towards you. Wet it like licking an envelope and turning like so. And there's our first roll.
Ah, voila!
Voila. Voila. And if you're going to eat them straight away, you'll find when you had that seaweed before, it was very chewy and your saliva moistened it. So just put a little bit of water on the outside. Okay. These have to be made, they only got there's 1 day shelf life. Okay, so you can't make them 3 days beforehand. 1 day, either make them in the morning for that night, but nothing's as nice as a fresh roll.
Exactly.
Yeah. What we do then to serve, what we do is you actually saw through. Okay, you don't just cut down, you saw. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Okay.
Yeah. Is it true that the knife needs to be wet as well?
Yeah, it's good. You can wet the knife in between each turn, but if it's a nice sharp knife, you won't have to. These are great. These little Chinese choppers. They're only about $4 from Asian grocery stores.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Be getting myself one of them.
Yeah. Do you want to grab me a plate from over there? We'll put it.
Okay.
So there's our first roll. So it's usually a 1 roll per person. Again, 12 rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Other things you can do is you get your hands and you just mould the rice. Because it's so warm, when it cools down. Actually, we don't need another plate. Have you got another plate there?
I do.
You're a good little assistant, aren't you?
I am.
So it's just a matter of...
I'm a good helper, aren't I, Nana?
Okay.
Alrighty.
These little ones. And some wasabi on. We all like wasabi, don't we?
We do. I love it. I love it when it's like really strong and your eyes water and it makes your face hurt. I do. It's great.
We don't want that brown bit.
No.
Not nice.
Yummy.
It's a great thing to master. Great for entertaining. Do you have a go?
Yay! I get to have a go now.
Yes, you do.
Mike? I'm gonna have a go now. Okay. You just... Okay. So now just put it there. Okay. And
Yes.
wet hands.
Wet hands.
Wet hands. Wet hands.
Seaweed sheet.
Seaweed sheet.
Round the right way. Good.
Yes. Okay. Now, I've made sushi at home, but it's been quite a while, so... And...
This is great for friends. If you have a dinner party, have a big bowl of rice, have cucumber, salmon, avocado, grated carrot, alfalfa sprouts, wasabi. Give everyone a mat each and get them to make their own.
That's a good idea, and then they can't blame you when their meals falls apart.
That's right.
This will be very interesting for me because I'm normally like one of the people who just puts rice all over the...
Oh, so you have done them before?
I have, at home, but...
So you've learnt something a different way now?
I have. And it's been ate, so now...
So nice deep well, almost to the bottom, so you can see the seaweed coming through.
Okay, like that?
That's good.
Okay, then I get a bit
They
of...
wasabi?
Oh, wasabi?
Again, optional. If you're going to sit down and eat them at the dinner table, you can keep the wasabi separate. But for a cocktail party, you really must put the wasabi in.
Okay. So people don't have to double dip.
Exactly.
Exactly. I love wasabi now. Oh,
Wait, you get your salmon?
My salmon. Like Mr. Paul said, doesn't have to be pretty.
No.
There.
Just fingers down,
Up
push it in,
and
up and
over.
over. Yeah, you're a professional. Now,
Thank you.
put some water here like an envelope.
Water there.
Yeah.
Yes, professional. Always say you're professional, not an expert, because an X is a has-been and a spurt is a drip under pressure. Thank you. No, hang on.
That's right.
That's
using the mat, turning
turn,
and
turn.
squeezing and turning
and squeezing and turning and yeah, and
beautiful.
look, Ma. Okay, chop chop and choppy choppy.
You'll never buy them again.
No.
Nothing's as nice fresh nor yeah. Down in the city when it gets to the end of the day and they've got them. That was what's happened here. You got a bit excited there.
Yeah.
You want me to sell that?
I'll just. Lee can have that one.
Oh yeah, thanks.
I think we'll give that one to the cameraman. There you go.
Lovely.
So there we have it. There's our first attempt at making sushi. It's quite good actually. You're going to have some?
I will.
Should be nice.
Didn't know.
Beautiful.
That is it for QCuisine. For this, oh my god, for this week. If you'd like to contact Paul for this recipe, any recipe, or anything at all, you can contact him at Noury@bigpond.net.au. Paul, my sushi hands, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will see you next time for QCuisine. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks very much, Paul Noury. Now, it's time for us to go. Make sure you stay tuned this Thursday at 10:30 for Face to Face, and also next Monday for another adventure of Q Weekly. I've been Stevie Griffiths, and I still am. Have a great night.